My doctor had blood work done on me to find out all of the foods that I was allergic to. I cut all of those out and lost 75 pounds. Don't worry though, I was able to get a lot of them back. This was one of those moments in my life whenever I had that just unnatural drive to go through with something completely crazy. And this was completely crazy. I mean, I had a handful of things that I could eat. There were some that were in the red, some in the orange, and then some in the green. If it was not available for me to eat, if it was questionable, I didn't touch it. The doc said, you can have some of these if you want to have them in moderation. I said, oh, no. I don't do that. I cut it out. I go hardcore. What prompted me to get tested was not so much because of my weight, but because I just hurt everywhere. Everything hurt. I had inflammation like crazy. I knew there were some bad things that I was eating, but I wasn't eating an exorbitant amount at the time. And I'd actually cut out a lot of the things that most people will attribute to weight gain, being large, all that kind of stuff. And it still just didn't seem to have an impact on how I felt. Well, he put me on this regimen, and after about 2 or 3 weeks, I started feeling way better. My knees didn't hurt, my shoulders didn't hurt, my back stopped hurting. I had plantar fasciitis, it had gone away. Anything and everything that was an ailment at that point was gone. At about the 3-week mark, my pounds started just shedding off of me like crazy. At work, my boss asked me, what are you doing, Chris? Are you working out or something? And I said, no, I just don't eat anything that I'm not supposed to. He said, what are you eating? And I said, about 5 things. He said, all you did was change your diet? What did you cut out? I said, there's too many things for me to tell you what I cut out, but I can tell you what I get to eat, and it's about 5 things. Now, the 5 things are different for each person. It was my genetic makeup, what I could not eat. One of the things that made my wife crazy was the fact that I had an allergy to lettuce. She could not wrap her head around the idea that I was not supposed to eat lettuce, and she tried to shove a salad at me every single meal saying, you're supposed to be healthy. I said, yeah, I am supposed to be healthy, but the point of it is so that I eat things that I'm not allergic to. Not just what the pyramid says I'm supposed to eat, but what my body says I'm supposed to eat. I'll pass on your salad. Thank you. Like I said, I shed about 75 pounds over the course of 5 or 6 months. It was nuts how much I was losing. But what finally brought me back around to eating crappy again was waiting for something to happen. My son was supposed to be born December 24th. He didn't make his entrance until over a week after the New Year. When New Year's came, I kind of had a New Year's resolution that was opposite of what most people do. Mine was, I'm going to eat like crap until he gets here. I'll show him. Really what it boiled down to was just anxious eating. I was just so anxious waiting for him to arrive. I'd taken time off work. They kept asking me, when did he get here? Is he here yet? I understand you haven't messaged us yet. I figured it's because of the holidays, but he's got to be here now, right? So during that long waiting period, I did what I needed. I needed that food. I didn't really need the food. I wanted the food. I didn't need it. It reminds me of my second child when she had surgery. She was given a lot of donuts. Her grandmother would come over and see her after she had surgery. Every time she came over, she brought over a dozen donuts. Tonight at dinner, we were actually talking about that time period when she was eating all those donuts. And my eldest, who's very practical, she's heard my wife and I talk about how bad sugar is for you because of the inflammation that it causes, wisely said, you didn't need those donuts. They were terrible for your healing. Your body couldn't get the nutrients that it needed. And my second just smiled at her and said, I needed the donuts. I had to laugh because it made me think of that time that I needed that crappy food waiting on my son, and I really didn't. I don't know if you can relate to that at all, but I wonder how many times do we find ourselves going after things thinking that we need them when in all actuality we just want them, and the want is detrimental to what we actually do want. How many times have you sabotaged yourself going after what you want instead of what you need? I can laugh at what my daughter said because she's a child. That's expected when you're a child. You go after the things that you want. You misunderstand what is a want and what is a need. But as you get older, you have to start making that difference and understand that there may be some things in your life that you are hanging on to, habits that you're continuing, purchases that you're making that you justify as needs in your life, but they are only wants, and that they are keeping you from the things that you actually do need. If you haven't thought about that lately, stop for a minute and think, what is it that I am doing? Is there anything in my life that I think is a need, but it's actually keeping me from achieving the things that I want in life? And maybe you could make a decision today to start changing that. And then tomorrow, whenever you get up, you can make that same decision. It's a decision that you get to make every single day, but it will ultimately bring you to a place where you can look back and say, I'm glad I said no to what I wanted and instead only chose what I needed, because now I really do have what I want. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you appreciated the stories tonight. Hope it made you think. Hopefully it challenged you a little bit. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. If you like the content, give me a thumbs up, put something down in the comments section, share it on social media, and I will see you again next time when we can share a cigar and change the world.